What's up out there? The Battlefield 6 open beta has been going on for a few days. I've sank a little over 12 hours into it, and I only have 2 challenges left to complete, which I hope to get done later today. But I'm having a blast playing it, and this guy is very excited for October. Now, I've been playing Battlefield since Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 3 is my yardstick for what I want from the Battlefield franchise. I think that set up the combination of the maps. There were big maps, there were small maps, they had the close quarters map DLC that you could get. There was a good variety of vehicles, weapons, choppers, airplanes, tanks, jeeps, the LAVs and all that stuff, the Amtrak. Like, there was a wide variety of things. And I had a lot of good times playing. I'm not a big fan of Conquest, but like Rush, I love all the alternate game modes. Deathmatch, Rush. I'd wake up on a Saturday morning, grab the Amtrak, and just try to jam it up in the first objective on Rush, try to get things going. Like, I had a lot of good times playing that back in the day. Loved it. Battlefield 4 was okay. It had a very rocky launch. If you know, you know. That game was basically unplayable was pretty much unplayable. A lot of netcode issues. I remember you had issues joining the party, issues joining the server, getting booted off the server, I think. I don't remember all of it exactly. They tried the Levolution thing where you could demolish a dam and it would change the map. Problem is, it also demolished your FPS. Your frame rate and everything. Like, it was just a bad launch. They fixed it and they got it going fairly well, but it was rocky, very nasty. We had Hardline in there, which I don't think should have been called Battlefield. It was a cops and robbers style game, which didn't fit the military theme. We had Battlefield 1, which I didn't play at launch. I think it had a lot of launch issues, but I liked Battlefield 1. I thought it was really cool. You had some interesting new game modes to try. They had the big armored train, the airship, the behemoth tank and stuff like that. Like, they had ways of helping you bust through the line, with the big overpowered guns and stuff like that. But I think they reduced the amount of tank combat and stuff you had. One of the things I love about Battlefield is the combined arms with the tanks, choppers, airplanes, and all the infantry and everything running around. Obviously, it was a little bit excessive in Battlefield 3 and 4, but I think they pulled it back a little bit too much in Battlefield 1. Then we get into Battlefield 5, which I put tens of hours into. I didn't really like it all that much. I think the immersion was gone. It's a World War II game that was like an alternate history thing that just, it wasn't it for me. Over the next few months until we get to October, I'll probably be playing it a little bit more. I need to dust a lot of cobwebs off. I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile for the last few years and not a lot of shooters, so I need to get back into it. But I've had problems getting back into Battlefield 5. And I don't know, whatever. But Battlefield 1, I've gotten back into, and it's just like, I played a lot of Battlefield 1, so it just feels like putting on an old glove. It feels comfortable. Whereas Battlefield 5 still just doesn't really do it for me. I do think you can get Battlefield 2042 for cheap here at some point. I don't know if I want to buy it or not and complete my collection. I did play it. I had Microsoft Game Pass for a little while, which with the premium version included EA's version of Game Pass or whatever. So I did get to play 2042 for a little while. I thought it was kind of a generic game, and the only reason I would actually buy it would be to just, I don't know, put some time into it here and there over the next couple of months until we get Battlefield 6 proper. But that's pretty much my experience with Battlefield, and Battlefield 3 is my pinnacle. That is the one that I want things to be modeled after. Now, I'm not going to get into my complaints with EA, because it's kind of the same complaints I have with EA and Ubisoft and Activision and all these other ones. They all get scummy and greedy with their microtransactions and everything, and they're raising their prices, and I'm not going to get into all that. I don't mind DLC, I don't mind skins, I don't mind all that other stuff. I do mind it when it becomes overwhelming and they become greedy and scummy. So I'm not going to get on that soapbox any more than I already have. But there was a time when I was not giving EA money. I'm not giving you money because I don't like what you're doing. So I'm letting my wallet speak. Now, that brings us up to Battlefield 6. So I heard Battlefield 6 was coming out, and because of all this, the way Battlefield 5 and 2042 was, I don't really like EA all that much, and I was just like, Battlefield 6, it's just going to be another crappy game that I don't buy. Then I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh, yeah, that looks exactly like Battlefield 3. That takes me right back into time. I'm like, man, I want this badly. So I was really hesitant. I was, I saw everybody talking about no pre-orders online and all that. And I had to laugh because I was sitting there thinking to myself, well, I'll wait and watch somebody's review on it. And then it clicked over. I'm like, you've got a YouTube channel. You should be the one making the video, not waiting for somebody else's video. So I talked myself into pre-ordering it just for that reason. And then we got this open beta weekend, and I've watched some other people talking about it. Good points. So EA and DICE and everybody giving us an open beta. No strings attached. You don't have to pre-order it or anything. And I saw that it's up to like 500,000 people on Steam. Them having confidence in their product. Again, if you were at Battlefield 4's launch, but they're giving us an open beta, and you don't have to have pre-ordered for it. You can get, all you had to do, in fact, to get 4 days of early access to it, or 4 days of access to it, you just had to watch some time on Twitch, which I did. I wasn't part of I saw Battlefield 6, the Battlefield program studio, whatever it was that they talked about months ago, and I was like, yeah, whatever. They're listening. Sure, they're listening. But then, like I said, I saw the trailer and I'm like, yeah, this looks really cool. But kudos to EA, credit where credit's due, giving an open beta and allowing us 4 days to play on it and to just go bananas with it has been awesome. I think that's really good. Definitely kudos to them for that. I had concerns going into this because they were talking about having to go enable the TPM stuff in your BIOS and all that so that their anti-cheat would run. And my experience from work with TPM is that, well, this is with encrypting hard drives, you basically have to reinstall the OS. So I was coming from that thinking, I'm not reinstalling my OS and reinstalling all my games because of Battlefield 6. That ain't going to happen. But fortunately, they linked you to all the different BIOS manufacturers. I found mine very easily. I mean, I could have found it anyway, but they had it linked. I went through their process and followed what my BIOS people said. I just had to click one thing on. My big concern was that it would brick my PC and I'd have to reinstall everything. That wasn't an issue. I could just enable whatever this TPM thing was and then move on. I rebooted, it worked. I was like, cool, done. My next issue is going to be like microtransactions. So I don't know, that remains to be seen. I'm sure there's going to be some DLC or something like that. So far, so good. There's just a season pass. It doesn't look like they got a whole bunch of other crap on it. The other issue was going to be whether it would actually run on my PC. Now, that's for the TPM anti-cheat as well as my hardware. Stalker 2 is still unplayable on my PC to this day because it goes, it'll play at 60 to 90 frames and then it dumps down to 8 frames per second for the, after about 10 minutes of play, or depending on where I go, it just goes to 0 frame rate basically. And I'm not going to spend $80 to $100 on a new game again that doesn't play. So when they announced this open beta, I was like, cool, I can check whether my TPM settings work and I can check whether my PC will actually run it. And good news, all of that works. I've had 0 issues. The first 2 days I played with the default video settings. I didn't change anything. But yesterday when I was playing, I don't know, it was caching too much. Like I only have an 8 gig memory, 8 gig video card, whereas I think everybody wants to have a 12 gig. I'm starting to see why now. But I was running into it caching a little bit, so I had to go from balanced over to performance. But it didn't really change the look of it, and it still feels really good. So I don't know. Games performed really well on my PC, so I have no complaints there. And then, like I said earlier, the open beta, giving us the ability to watch Twitch a little while and get a code so that we could just try the game really early. I thought that was really good. I think that shows real good confidence, and it shows a little bit of transparency from EA and DICE that they're allowing us to go into the open beta without pre-ordering. We don't have to have any of that garbage going on. I think that, and the fact that this has ran so well, I had some issues getting into, aside from the queue, like there's 500,000 people trying to get into the game on Steam. Aside from the queue, which I don't mind that, there were some times where yesterday there was some issues. Maybe it's because there were so many people on, like it couldn't find a match or something, or it got a little wonky and I had to back out to the menu and go back into it. No big deal, but they're minor. Definitely not the Battlefield 4 issues so far. So I think this open beta shows real good confidence in it, and I don't feel bad about pre-ordering now. I think it's pretty cool. I did have a frustrating start, and it's not because of the game or the performance of the game or anything like that. I just sucked at it. I got a lot of cobwebs to knock off and get back into my FPS game. I'm getting my feet underneath me, and I'm doing a lot better. But I had a lot of issues starting off, from keybinds to just, I don't know, just general gameplay, map flow, learning the maps, all that kind of thing. I will say, as far as map layout goes, I think they've got some issues that they need to solve. I don't particularly like Conquest all that much. I've only played a little bit of Conquest, mostly to complete some of the challenges. But for the most part, I've been playing a lot of Breakthrough. And because I like Rush, and Breakthrough seems similar to Rush, so I've been playing that. What I think happens with Breakthrough a lot, and this happened in Rush quite a bit too, is you would get into a stalemate. I think there's certain maps like Siege of Cairo. There's an area where A is, and I'll have some video rolling in the background to kind of illustrate it, but there's this giant bowling lane looking road that you have to go down. So you basically need to smoke that out to not get blown away, because all the enemies can just stare at you and shoot you down as you drive down or march down that. There's no cover. It's this long hallway basically, and there's multiple ways that they can shoot at you, but you really only have one avenue to go. What they need is to cut another avenue in behind that, where you can get behind and put some cover out so you can go around and flank around to the other side. I don't know that I'm describing it very well, but it's the A flag over there on Siege of Cairo Breakthrough. When you're the attacker, that A flag is really tough to take. I haven't spent much time on the B side, but A side sucks, and it feels like there needs to be some more things, a couple of more alleyways or something added so you can get around and not just get annihilated in two doorways. You know, I don't know. It feels like they need to really rework that area of it. Otherwise, the maps feel pretty good. It's kind of the way Rush went. If you're winning, you're winning. If you're losing, you're losing. If your team isn't coordinating very well, you're just going to get steamrolled, and or you're not going to even take the objective if you were on the attacker side. But I think there's some, and these aren't things that can't be solved. They just need to do some map balancing or something like that. I also feel like there's way too many snipers, which is your typical Battlefield story. There's always too many snipers. But I don't remember, I didn't write the name of the map down, but it's the mountain version of the Breakthrough map. Again, you spawn in, there's this big long road where you go, and there's not really much cover, but all you see is little glint from snipers looking right into that. It's like, why does this not dogleg around, where you can get around it and have some cover? You're just like getting sniped right out of the gate. It just seems like you can get spawn camped fairly easily from these, and I think they need some kind of work. But I do like the way the maps are. They don't feel too bad. I like that you get a lot of smoke grenades, because you can smoke out a bunch of area. You get like 2 or 3 smoke grenades, at least on the support kit. So you can get a nice path going and kind of cover up some of that. But you're already out of smoke grenades to get to the area by the time you get through all the snipers and the shooting lanes. So I don't really like some of the layouts they've got. I think that needs some work. But otherwise, they feel pretty good. The weapon kit, or the kits themselves, we're back to a class system as opposed to the stupid hero system they tried in 2042. Now, this time they're trying to not lock weapons to a class, and I actually like that. Number one, I like the fact that they've got a class locked mode. Hopefully they have class locked modes for all the different modes. Class locked versions for each of the game modes, so Breakthrough can have class locked and all that. That way purists can have their fun. And if I wanted to do that, I could do that as well. But I also like the fact that I can swap things around. Like, I can run my scout with a machine gun or an AR or something like that instead of a sniper rifle. I can swap it around, or I can run whatever combination of stuff I want. I do like the way they've changed the kits around. I'm a little weird on the support kit having the medic part of it as well. I'm used to throwing ammo with my support kit, and this is where I had an issue with my keybinds, because now I have to worry about rezzing somebody with one keybind, throwing out ammo with a different one, and it was on the X key or I don't know. It was on a weird key. So I had to move things up into the number keys. But it is kind of weird that you're reviving somebody and giving them ammo with that kit. It was always the assault kit that had the ability to revive people. And then your support class was just there for ammo and stuff like that. Now they moved the C4 from the support kit because we were quite frankly abusing it because you could just get your C4 back and go blow stuff up. They moved that over a long time ago over into the scout kit, which rightfully so. And like I said, we were definitely abusing it. So I knew about that. But while I think the support kit having the ability to revive is kind of weird, I do like the assault kit being like an assault kit. Like you can put a shotgun on it, you can put 2 launchers, you can get that launcher that does the incendiary and the HE launcher where you got the high explosive. So you can rock both launchers and just swap between them and go blasting away. You can put frags on, you can put smokes on. You've got that adrenaline shot. Like I do like the way they've got the assault kit set up. It is high speed. You go and just punch a hole into something. I do like that. So I kind of, while I feel weird about the support gaining the ability to revive, I don't feel weird about assault losing it because they've given you the option of running 2 launchers or an AR and a shotgun or something like that. Whatever you want to run, it's got some good variety to it. So I do kind of like that. And guns blazing. That's what I will say with that. The assault kit with both launchers is just awesome. So, and then, you know, of course, you've got the engineer kit, which I don't know. I don't really want to run Engie all that much. It's more to fix vehicles or something. I don't know. The only time I really run the engineer is when I see a vehicle and I want it down. And then I always spawn somewhere where the vehicle isn't. So it's kind of a waste of time. I'm not an Engie main. I was always a support or assault main pretty much. But I do like the way they've got the kit set up. Now, I will say, swapping over to the challenges, I think they put the challenges, to complete the challenges, they put the benchmarks a little bit too high. Like, you got to have, 3,000 or something like that repairs on a tank. Basically, that's all I did yesterday was sat down and worked on a tank, died. I ended up playing on Conquest, I think Conquest for a while. I went where I had vehicles, and if it wasn't a vehicle map, I swapped over to one that was, and I just sat on that vehicle and repaired it. That's the only thing I did. I didn't care about my surroundings. I just wanted that challenge done because it took so much to do. I wanted it knocked out, and now I've got my assault kit to run out the kills within so many meters or whatever. So I don't know. I thought the challenges were a bit much for this. And I've been playing a lot. I've been playing as much as I can, not overplaying, not like bucket playing, but I've been playing a lot, and I think the challenges are a bit much. I think they could have softened that a little bit, and it just incentivizes you to not play how you want, because there's a lot of times I wanted to run recon or scout or whatever they call it. I wanted to run that as opposed to whatever I was doing at that moment, where you got to go get revived. So now I'm just running around trying to revive people, whether they need it or not, or whether I was going to die or not, just to try to get that done. And I didn't like that. I know you can play how you want, but I wanted to get those challenges done. So I think the challenges were a bit much in this one. They needed to have toned that down a little bit for the limited time we get. Now, hopefully we can complete the challenges next weekend if I don't get them done this weekend. I don't know if we can or not. The buddy revive system, I like. I don't know if that was added for this game or if it was in any of the other ones, but I do like the ability that you can just go grab your buddy and revive them. Even though you're not an support with the revive kit, you can actually still grab them, pull it, body drag them away. I know that's new for this one. And then you can hit them with the revive part after a short time. I think that's cool. That's been a pretty good system. So overall, I've very much enjoyed it. I've noticed a lot of the changes that they've had, and it's some of it's good. I don't want to say some of it's bad. I'm still just weird on the support kit change. It's just kind of odd to me. I will say that the guns have felt good. The hit reg, I've seen that across the board. Everybody's complaining about that. It does feel weird. You're like point blank, just emptying your weapon right into their chest, and then they just turn around and mow you down. I don't know. I've had that happen a few times. I'll chalk it up to the first couple of days of me just being bad at it and probably running in and not like stopping and fully shooting or pointing first before I shoot wildly in whatever weird direction I was pointed at as I was running. Maybe that's what it was. But I feel like I was running into that yesterday as I was getting more comfortable with the game. I was still having issues where I was just, things were missing that I didn't think should have missed. And I need to go look at some of my footage and see. But overall, I am having a blast playing it. It's not the greatest game, but it is definitely good to be back playing Battlefield again. It's good to be excited for a Battlefield entry and not look at it and think, man, this sucks. It's another EA slop game that we got to go deal with this crap. I've pre-ordered it. I am very much looking forward to it. I've enjoyed this weekend. I look to enjoy next weekend as well. And like I said, I'm going to dump into Battlefield 1 and 5 over the next few months as we get in there. Not a little casually. I'm not going to make it serious, but I do want to play them a little bit, get the cobwebs knocked off, and get back used to playing some Battlefield. Maybe even some Battlefield 4. I noticed Battlefield 4 and 1 have about 10,000 players. Before this beta, they had about 10,000 players playing. Battlefield 5, not so much, maybe 2,000 or 3,000. So there are games to be found, and I can get the dust knocked off. But at any rate, yeah, I'm having a good time. Very much enjoying it. Very much look forward to October when this releases. And I'm locked in. I'm pre-ordered, ready to go. So far, so good. Hopefully we get a Battlefield 3 launch and not a Battlefield 4 launch. But at any rate, those are my thoughts on the game, and that's going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.